Calvin Butts at 10 or 11 years old was simply interested in excelling in school. I think that I was concerned about getting good grades. I was concerned about pleasing my parents. I had very good parents, a wonderful father, hardworking man, and a wonderful mother, hardworking woman, and together they poured a lot into their only child, me, the son. And so I wanted to please them. As a matter of fact, one of the driving forces in my life has been to make my parents proud and happy in terms of the things that I was doing. I think at another point in my life it escalated to or was elevated to pleasing God. But initially at 10 or 11, they were the major forces and influences in my life. Around 12, my mother took me to the National Beauty Culturist Association's luncheon, which was headed by a woman named Maud Gadsden. And there I heard Dr. Benjamin Elijah Mays, who was their keynote speaker. And then he became a major force in my life. And it was then that I learned that my pastor, the Reverend Dr. William Unistoff Gardner, had graduated from Morehouse. And so Dr. Mays and Morehouse College began to shape my life just a little beyond that, maybe around 12 or 13. Well, both my parents came from strong families. So I think that influenced how they raised their child. I think that the culture, it's a narcissistic, materialistic culture that exists here, had a huge impact, particularly on African Americans, and how we began to raise our children. We started following the dominant culture instead of sticking to our, I attributed it to because of my own clerical vocation, sticking to our faith. We gave America a sense of decency and respect and living on the high ground, a moral center. Hence Dr. King. I mean, we all have our shortcomings, of course, but the whole nonviolent direct action movement was built on nonviolence. It was built on respect for all humanity. It was built around, he came from a strong family, strong father, strong mother. It was built around family. And of course, our families were so disrupted by, well, slavery and discrimination and racism that parents like mine and yours strove to make sure that that spiritual core was still there. But many of our younger men and women didn't find that in their parents. And I'm speaking about in the African American community that began to follow the culture and pattern of, for lack of a better term, white folk. I don't believe in race necessarily, and they didn't, they lost the spiritual center. They lost the spiritual core. They grew up just like some of the young white people talking back to their parents. And the parents, you and I are on the same page. I would rather endure a spanking than to have my parents express disappointment. But the spanking also was there.